should Corey Sandhagen still be sitting on the sidelines waiting for TJ Dillashaw, or is there another fight you want to see him take in the interim?
Nah, it makes sense. Listen, it was he probably could have still fought with that, you know what I mean? The fight isn't, when was it scheduled for? May 8th? May 8th, I believe. You know, so he's still got, I mean,
was it a cut?
It was a cut on the eyebrow. And it was a bad enough cut, don't get me wrong. And I understand TJ has been out of commission for 2 years, you know, all down to his own fault, to be honest. But still, regardless, he's been out for 2 years. He wants to come back and he wants to get right back in the mix. And against Corey Sandhagen, if he beats him, he's probably looking at a title fight. Last thing you want to do is, you know, take the risk. And he could do it. He could still win, you know, but it would be taking the risk. So why not try and have it rebooked? And then to answer Harrington's question for Corey Sandhagen, yeah, same thing. Massive opportunity. Yeah. Former champion, you know. Guy was stripped. I think that's how he lost his bantamweight belt, right? So it's a big fight. It would be a big scalp, and it would also guarantee Sandhagen a title shot. So,
and if you're fighting TJ Dillashaw, fight him after a 2-year layoff, right? That's the time. It's Corey Sandhagen. He's going, I'll wait a few more weeks because it's just a cut over the eye, right? We've watched this happen before. It's not going to be months and months and months. It'll be likely a few weeks or a month or two. I've
flown out there and had fights myself. Same thing when I flew to Australia. I think I told this story. I had stitches in my eye. I got headbutted by accident and I was pissed off. And I flew to Australia to fight Luke Rockhold. And as we know, I had problems with my eye. Little anecdote for you. Problems with the eye, so I was always worried about the eyes. But I had stitches in my good eye. And then on the day of the fight, I'm walking into the arena. And I always used to be worried that I was going to get pulled by a doctor last minute because of the state of my eye, right? And I'm walking into the arena on fight day, and one of the UFC staff runs up and says, Michael, you've got to see the doctor. I'm like, what? And I start freaking out. I'm like, why? What's wrong? And they went, it's your eye. And I'm like, what? Yeah, the doctor wants to see it's something to do with your eye. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, the feeling of dread, like the whole world was falling in, and I walk into the doctor and I'm fucking shaking, and I'm like, yeah, how can I help you? He's like, oh mate, you got stitches in your eye there, pal. You can't fight with that. So he just went, nipped out the stitches, and that was that. But to go back to TJ Dillashaw, in the fight against Luke Rockhold, he headbutted me and opened up the cut, and the cut came into my good eye. I couldn't see jack. The other eye doesn't work, and I guess a fucking head kicked. So yeah, looking at that, TJ's doing the exact right fucking thing. But he has two eyes.
First fight, so we like the whole emphasis on the camp was just wrestling defense. I didn't think he was gonna come to fight, and hats off to him, man. I'm top and clean.
Well, it was a shot, and sometimes you can call it a lucky shot. And you
at this point, George is willing to fight anybody that makes sense for him to like get back to that title, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's, you know what I mean, a guy above him, a guy below him, whatever it is. As long as it makes sense for him to do it and it's going to help him get back to where he's got to get to, then he's all about it.
Today sucks. Definitely a lot of pain and in and out of sleep all day. Slight headache. Had to start taking the pain pills again and stuff. The gabapentin, which is like the nerve pain. Just constant pain. You know, I guess, you know, it was feeling good. It was feeling actually pretty good for the first couple of days. I'm like, I can handle this. And then now it kind of sucks, but I'm hoping just another day or two like this, and then I get to a point where I can get up and about without so much pain.
everybody, I'm here just to state some of the facts. I've had a long career with the UFC, and as I've fought all these fights and chased this dream of being a UFC champion, I just feel like here at the end of the road, I knew the end was coming, and I did everything in my power in this preparation for Donald Cowboy Cerrone. I put a lot of time and energy into even just getting the fight with Cowboy, getting a fight with another legend to, you know, end the legacy that is Diego Sanchez fighting in the UFC. And at the end of my camp, when I was in top form, feeling my best, in best shape, down in American top team, competing with some of the best mixed martial artists all around the world, traveling and putting in the work. And I did it. I was ready to compete. I was ready to fight. I was 100% healthy. And while in the final 12 days leading to the fight, I got a text message from Sean Shelby, and it was a message saying, Diego, you need to check your email because Hunter sent you an email, and it's extremely important that you read this email and respond to this email by tomorrow, or the fight is going to be canceled. And so right away I was like, oh shit, you know, the fight's gonna get canceled, they're gonna pull the fight, what do I do? I talked to my people, and I replied the best way I could reply to Hunter's email, and that's with my lawyer's advice. And with my lawyer's advice, you know, I replied the best I could. UFC wanted me to state that I am not experiencing any neurological issues and that I have no long-term health side effects from fighting a career of 17 years in the UFC. And so basically my advisors told me, hey, like, basically what they're trying to do is right before you finish your last fight, they're trying to just make sure they have documentation of you saying that you never sustained anything. So basically you're being forced, being bullied into waiving your medical rights, medical possible liabilities. And so with that being said, the email was sent to Hunter, and the response was very fast. And the response was from Hunter and Sean and Dana, but only Hunter Campbell's signature was on the letter. Only his name was on the letter. And the letter said that they have chosen to pay me 100% for the fight, the show money, the win money, and the sponsorship money. And due to me traveling and completing the training camp that I did for this camp, and with that, the fight is to be canceled. And why? The only thing that was on the email was, due to your last loss at Abu Dhabi versus Jake Matthews, no explanation other than that. And so this seems like a lot of bullshit to me, because if you ask me, if the problem was my performance in my Jake Matthews fight, why entertain me with the Cowboy fight? Why have a meeting with me, Sean? Why give me my fight papers? Why sign the fight? Why sign the bout? Why sell the fight to ESPN? Many questions that don't make sense to me. Another question that doesn't make sense to me is, why send me a letter, an email, when I've already passed all my medicals, and I've had extra medicals done due to my age. I had the MRI, the MRA, the EKG, the physical, the X-rays. I had all the imaging done. I had all the neurological that was demanded by the Nevada State Athletic Commission and the UFC for me to be cleared to compete. And so why, when this has already been done, do I get an email demanding that I have to state this, state that? Yeah, my manager did ask for my medical, my list of medicals from throughout my career. I've had a lot of injuries, and in the sport, I want to have my history. This is my medical history. I want to have it on file. I want to have what the UFC has. It's my medical health, right? And as far as I'm concerned, I don't feel like after I'm done, if Dana White won't answer my calls now, won't let me have a meeting now, once I'm done and I'm out of the UFC, do you think that I'm going to be able to get a hold of anybody? You think that anything's going to go through? No, nothing's going to go through. I'm never going to get hit from them. So yeah, before, at the end of my career, me and my manager decided, yeah, now it's time to get what we can get, because they're probably not going to give a shit after you are released. And so, like the conversations I have with Sean Shelby and Joshua Fabia, where Sean is saying how, he wants to cut me, and Dana White, said I could fight another fight, and there's so much to the story, that you, the people, my fans that love me, my fans that are sending me messages telling me how they pray for me, how they care for me, and how they think that my manager is bamboozling me and just using me. And so if this was the case, I wouldn't be sticking by his side, having his back. And the truth of the whole matter is, me and him having each other's back against $1 billion monopoly worldwide organization. Yeah, when you bring awareness and you bring light to some of the issues within the organization of $1 billion corporation, yes, red flags are gonna rise. And there's been a lot of red flags, and there's a lot of things that are not right about the industry. And why do I have the experience to and the words to speak on this? Because I lived it. My entire adult life, I've been with the UFC, chasing this dream, taking punches, eating kicks, and hitting elbows for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. And so, the way you look at it, for the rest of my truth, please, real fans, my people, tune into my OnlyFans, a legitimate, verified network where I know the people that are watching aren't bots. I know they ain't the bullshit people out there on Instagram that are following the sheep narrative that has been pushed, that has been paid for, that has been, the UFC's got inside ties with Instagram, and my Instagram's been eating shit for years. And if you're still believing that hype, you know, you're being fooled. So, you know, continue to follow me as the legend continues. Follow my OnlyFans, subscribe, say hello, and watch this story as it continues.
You've got to see the doctor. I'm like, what? And I start freaking out. I'm like, why? What's wrong? And they went, it's your eye. And I'm like, what? Yeah, the doctor wants to see it's something to do with your eye. And I'm like, oh my God, shit. I'm like, the feeling of dread, like the whole world was falling in, and I walk in.
Oh my God! Wow! Oh my God!
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the fuck up.